Now, dear students, we will try to understand the Arduino Uno R3. For getting the understanding of any microcontroller, it is very necessary to have a look at its datasheet, because the datasheet contains all the things that are related to microcontrollers, like the particular microcontroller, how many pins it have, what are the peripherals it have, what are its limitations. So Arduino Uno is actually a development board, and it have a microcontroller on it, and the Arduino microcontroller that it's used is at Mega 328P and have at Mega 16U2 processor. Arduino Uno is mostly used by the makers and the people that just want to understand the electronics and its concept, and it's also widely used in the industries. So over here we have its data sheet, and if you scroll down you will find that it says that it have 8 mega 328p processor over here, which have a memory related data over here, like it have AVR CPU at up to 16 megahertz, 32 kilobytes of flash, 2 kilobyte of SRAM, 1 kilobyte of EPROM. So this memory will help you understand that how lengthy code you can write in the microcontroller, Arduino Uno microcontroller. The next features regarding to security, it have two features that are very important for any microcontroller, that is power on reset and brownout detection. Power on reset means whenever you power on the microcontroller, it will start the same condition every time that it's powered up. This system ensures that, let's say if some controller is running and we just switch on its power supply, it was running some instruction, and the next time when we power up it again, it will start the microcontroller from the very beginning of the instructions. The next feature is brownout detection. Whenever you have a low voltage supply on the microcontroller, then it will reset the system. So these both features are very important. The next thing is we have peripherals. We have two 8-bit timer, one 16-bit timer, and one USART, and one SPI, one dual mode controller like peripherals I2C, one analog comparator with a scalable reference input, watchdog timers, 6 PWM channels, interrupt and wake up on pin changes. So these are the peripherals that are provided in this 8 mega 328p that is used in Arduino Uno development board. The next processor that is present on this Arduino Uno R3 development board is 8-bit AVR disk based microcontroller that is at Mega 16U2 processor, which have a memory of 16 KB ISP flash, 512 bytes of EPROM, 512 bytes of SRAM, and a debug wire interface for on-chip debugging and programming. So this can operate, Arduino Uno can operate as 2.7 to 5.5 volts. The next thing is, these are the contents over here. Let's scroll down and let's learn more about this thing. So this board, it is equipped with well-known microcontroller at Mega 328p. It have 14 digital inputs and outputs and 6 analog inputs, a USB connector, ICSP header, and reset button. So these things we will be discussing and learning one by one in the coming videos. So if we scroll down, so over here you can see that it have a recommending operating conditions, like it can operate at a minimum of -40 degree and a maximum of 85 degree Celsius temperature. As you know that temperature has a great effect on the functionality of the semiconductor. So regarding the power consumption, that how much this board will consume, so it can have a maximum input voltage of 6 volt minimum and maximum of 20 volts. Similarly, maximum input voltage from USB connector, that is you can give 5.5 volt maximum from the USB connector. So maximum power consumption, it's not defined over here because it depends that how much the circuitry you have engaged with the board. So over here you can see just a board topology over here which state different designators over here, like this is the microcontroller which have designated J-ZU4, like over here it has U3 crystal Y1, U1, X1 connector and X2 connector. So let's look what connectors parts these are specified. Like if you scroll down, you can see over here we have X1, that is power jack, X2 is USB B connector, PC1, PC2, these are the capacitors. Like you can see that all the parts that are used in the Arduino Uno board are specified over here. The next thing is regarding the processor, that this microcontroller that is used in Arduino Uno is running at up to 20 megahertz. So most of the pins are connected to external headers. Let me explain this over here. If you scroll down, let's scroll up, you can see that actually this is the microcontroller JZU4. The pins of these microcontrollers are connected to these header pins at the boundaries of the Arduino Uno module, which means that if you connect anything in these headers, and these headers over here that are actually interfaced with this microcontroller through tracks that are going from these header pins to these microcontroller pins on this Arduino Uno module PCB. So let's scroll down and let's see what other things we have regarding the power tree. If you apply voltage on the V in, this will be fed to an LDO that will be fed to a 5 volt that will generate then a 5 volt that is supplied to Atmega 16U microprocessor and the Atmega 328P processor, and a green LED, then a yellow LED, and then it is again fed to an LDO that will generate a 3.3 volt power supply on this Arduino Uno module. Similarly, if you apply voltages from USB VCC, that is going to fed to op-amp that will generate a 5 volt, and this 5 volt be fed to the components that are used in the Arduino Uno R3 module. If we scroll down, we have board operation, that for using this board or writing some sketch on this board you need an Arduino IDE, as we are going to use virtual simulator VOCV. So most of the examples we perform, we will be writing our code in the VOCV, and we will be learning this Arduino in details in the coming video. Similarly, if we scroll down, we have these connector pinouts over here. As I have said earlier that this microcontroller have pins interfaced with these header on the Arduino Uno module. So over here it says that this pin is not connected. This pin has a function of IO REF, and then a reset pin, then a 3.3 volt, 5 volt, ground, then VIN. Similarly, if we move down over here, these are the 5 pins that are specified as D14, D15, 16, 17, 18 and 19, and these have a functionality of analog. These are analog pins, you can read analog data from these. So over here these are the list of digital pins over here, in which you have these D0, D1 and similarly D2, D3 going on till D19, and you can see that over here it says TX RX, which means these two pins are for TX and RX for communication with the other microcontrollers or with the other peripherals. Similarly, these are the 4 pins over here: SC, MISO, MITHO, OC, SS. These are used for SPI protocol. Similarly, over here you have SCL, SDA, that is used for I2C. Like over here you have TXRX, that is used for UART. So these are the protocols peripherals that are present in this Arduino Uno board, and we will be using this protocol, understanding more in details how we can implement this protocol in Arduino Uno R3 module. So if you scroll down, you will see over there it specifies that we have J analog, that is 1 to 14 pins over here, and as I have told you earlier that these are pins that are analog pins, and they have said that these are J analog connector. Similarly, these are the J digital connector over here, and the details of J digital connector is over here and its functionality over here. If you move down, this is the mechanical information about the board that is mostly related to the dimensions of the board, that will help you if you are going to design your own PCB, or you are going to use this Arduino board in your current design. So mechanical dimensions will help you to fit your Arduino Uno in your project. So these are the certifications. We are least concerned with this. This is a company information over here, and this is now in the Chinese version of the same datasheet. So hopefully you have understood that the little bit details of the Arduino Uno board. So in the coming videos we will be using this datasheet for our future reference, because datasheet gives you details about the Arduino Uno board. So hope you have understood the Arduino Uno R3 development board and its features that it houses for us, which we are going to implement in the coming video.